Okay, I.J. Hansen. Call the virtual mechanical board meeting of September 2nd, 2020 to order at 9:30 exactly on September 2nd, 2020. Debbie, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Chairman Jay Hansen.
Here.
Vice Chair Eric Fanning.
Here.
Walter Cottle.
Here.
Derek Fraser is excused. Chris Miller is excused. Linda Kennedy is excused. Jed Sherman.
Here.
Ted Zook. Ted?
I had to unmute. Here.
Thank you, Ted. Okay, Mr. Chairman, we do not have a quorum, but luckily there is no voting.
Excellent.
You can go on with your meeting.
Thank you, Debbie. Do any of the members have any questions in regards to the minutes or the agenda at this time?
Move to approve. One minor thing, I believe Jay Hansen's name is not correct in the minutes. I believe it's spelled with an E-N, not an O-N, so friendly amendment there.
Wow, that's a good eye.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman, and I will fix that.
That's fine. Thank you very much. Okay, I, Chair Hansen, rule the agenda in order and order of business approved. Does anybody have any questions on any other questions in regards to the draft minutes from the June 3rd meeting? Hearing none, I will rule those draft minutes as final. So our date of our next meeting is December 2nd of 2020, and that is tentatively set for an in-person meeting, I hope. That being said, that will be our next meeting. Okay, so we're gonna, Debbie, do we have any public comment that needs to be introduced here at this time?
At this time, there's no public comment, but the policy analyst may have something to say about this.
Okay, very good. And that would be Andy Bolton.
Correct.
And,
thank you, Mr. Chair. Debbie's correct. There's no public comment at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Program update. Mark, you're up. You got something for us?
Thank you, Chair Hansen, members of the board. For the record, Mark Heizer with the division. For the program update, of course, with the rollout of the 2019 OMSC, we're sort of not doing a lot. However, I did want to bring to the board's attention that, you know, the 2020-21 residential code work, the committee work has just wrapped up. They have put some recommendations forward to the RMSB board for review. The work that they've done that affects mechanical and natural or gas work will be finalizing soon, and expect at the December 2nd meeting, we will be bringing any significant revisions that they do in their work for you to look at. That's part of standard procedure, just to sort of show you what their board has done that might be new or different from the current OMSC. Other than that, that's about the extent of the major items happening on our side. Appreciate the great work the committee or the board here has been doing. Thank you.
You're here. Okay, appreciate that very much. Is it appropriate to ask a question at this time in regards to the makeup of the staff at division? I'm curious if we have a decision on a new director.
Just, that was going to be one piece, but no word yet on a new director. I see that our current administrator, Lori Graham, is on board listening at this time, but we have not heard anything yet. We do know that interviews still ongoing, but no word yet, Jay, just to let you know. Have not heard anything from my standpoint or...
All right, I would like to interject that I was part of that on Friday, and I thought it was an excellent process, to be honest. I just want to offer that up for public comment. Warren, do you have a PowerPoint presentation for us on the minor labels update?
Mr. Hanson, I do. For the record, this is Warren Jackson with the division. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, great. I do, and so I know I have to share the screen. Hopefully you can see a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, if you remember, we shared some information at the last mechanical board meeting regarding the minor label pilot project we're working on. Last time we shared the scope of what a minor label could cover, and we really haven't changed that at all since the last meeting. We're still talking about fairly simple installations, for example, changing out of a residential furnace with one using the same fuel type and so forth. Adding AC to an existing furnace and ductwork, that sort of thing. So what I want to share with you today a little bit is how that process would look, both to a contractor and to a local jurisdiction who might be reviewing the photographs submitted for the installation. So we have an application that we've been working on. Before I get to that, let's cover just a little bit about what the program would look like. So it's a pilot project, so we'd be looking at adopting a temporary administrative rule for the 6-month pilot. Marion County, the City of Salem, and the City of Woodburn have volunteered to participate in the pilot project. And, you know, the whole concept of a pilot is that we want to see, does this concept even work? And if it does work, are the scope of what a minor label is good for, is that dialed in correctly? Right now we're copying pretty close to what the City of Portland's already doing with their mechanical minor label project. So already starting with the scope, it's been tested for many years at the City of Portland. But now we want to see, will it work using remote inspection technology? So in this case, we'd be talking about, and I might be jumping ahead of myself here, but folks are submitting pictures and videos for each installation. So just like plumbing, electrical, and elevator minor labels, a contractor would be able to purchase a lot of 10, and that would allow installations at 10 different locations. And again, that's pretty much copying what we're doing with plumbing, electrical, and elevators at this point in time. So we have an application, view specs, that contractors could download to a mobile device such as a phone, a tablet, iPad, iPhone, and it's very simple to use. I tested it out at my own house, tested it quite a few times here at the office, and so a person would simply open up this app. Once you've signed in the first time, it automatically signs you in every time you open it on your device. And so what you would do is open the app, select the offline inspection option, because to do this inspection, you don't necessarily have to have a data connection at the site you're at. There's many places in the state where data connections aren't available, especially in some of our territory out in Eastern Oregon. So the nice thing about this program is you don't have to have a data signal where you're doing the installation. Once you do that, you're logged in, you selected offline inspection, and now you search for a lot of your minor labels. And so what you would do is press on, and I know you can't see me point here, so I'll try to quit pointing, but select on the little magnifying glass, universal sign for search, and that opens a window. And so in that window, a contractor would search for their minor labels, or one of their staff people out in the field would. And what's nice about it is the way that we have it set up is you would just search for, say, the year you purchased those. So in this case, 2020, so it would be 20 hyphen, and then your CCB number. So in this case, I just randomly picked one, 123490, and to test. But what that would do is you enter that in there, and then you search, and it'll pull up those lots that you have purchased. And so in this case, we have a test, and we have a lot of labels, and you can see, and I apologize, the colors aren't real bold, but we've got the permit number, so we've got the year hyphen your CCB number, and then the lot number for those labels, followed by mechanical ML, which is just the type, mechanical minor label. So what you do there is then you select, by touching the screen, your lot of mechanical labels. And this will open up how many valid labels you still have in that lot. So in this case, when I was doing the screenshots for this, there were 6 labels still valid. And so you simply select the top one, or any of them actually, but so you select that, it'll open up this screen here, and it'll actually enter in the address. So in this case, I was sitting at my desk in the office, and it listed it as 1515 Edgewater Street Northwest. You can see there's a little square with a pencil in it. If, for example, and I'll show you an example later, but I took some photos and used this app at my house. It actually came up with my neighbor's address, and I was able to change that to show that the proper address. And it's real easy to do. Once you do that, you can select edit the description of work. And so what's nice about this, I don't know if, okay, yeah. So when you select that, it opens up this window. And what I found to be very easy to do with this app, instead of trying to type things in, is just use the microphone function on the keyboard. And then I just talked to the phone, and I said, this is a practice description of a mechanical label using the voice to text feature on the iPhone, and boom, it populated it. So that was very, very easy to use. Very simple. So when you move on to the next step, it populates the description of work. We've got our address there. And let's say we've completed the installation and it's time to take pictures. Then we just touch the little camera icon there at the bottom of the screen. So in this example, I pressed the camera icon and I took a picture. Now I'm in my office. I didn't have anything exciting to take a picture of, so I took a picture of a coffee cup. So not too exciting, but it creates a thumbnail. And you can take multiple pictures, take little short videos by using that camera icon. And then for each one of those, it'll have a little thumbnail on the screen. So if I select that thumbnail, here's a picture of my coffee cup. I can touch add, edit comments, and leave a short description of what the picture is supposed to indicate. You know, many times it's going to be obvious, but in this case, just to show you, I went ahead and opened it up. Pop-up allows you to change your mind. I might not have showed you that step, but I can still do the same thing. When I add or edit a comment, I just talk to the phone, it records my speech as text, and then it'll attach that to that photo. Once all your photos and videos are saved, it allows you, once you press save, to change your mind So once you save it, you can't change it anymore. And this is talking about the whole set of videos or pictures that you've done. So in this case, let's assume I've populated all this with quite a few photos, and now I want to save it. This little warning message comes up: the inspection cannot be further modified after clicking complete. So I want to make sure my address is correct. I've given the descriptions where necessary and the things. And so if I do change my mind, I can click on cancel. If I want to move forward, I just click on complete. Once the minor label, photographs, and information have been saved, the file can be uploaded. So I've saved it, decided that it's set, and then I hit upload. If I have a signal, it'll upload it. If I don't, it'll upload it once I get a signal. And then once it's been uploaded, it confirms, and sorry, this screen actually does have a little bit of overlap of text at the top. And that's how it does look on the app as well. But it'll confirm and let me know that it's been uploaded. And then right after I did that, I received an email showing me that I had uploaded some photographs.
View specs. That's what I needed.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. It's view specs.
That's okay. There it is.
Okay, and one thing that's nice about it is every photograph will be geotagged with the address and the coordinates. And so in the case when I was at my house, I was able to take those coordinates, cut and paste them for each picture into Google Maps. And I just did this as an experiment. And I could see, you know, they're sometimes off a few feet here or there where you are when you take a picture, but it became very obvious which house I was at, that it was my house when I was taking some photos. So that's going to be uploaded, and then our office will randomly pick one of them to be reviewed by the local jurisdiction. Local jurisdiction will be notified by email of the inspection, and for each inspection they do, they'll receive $75 for reviewing those pictures and videos for compliance with the code. And here's kind of an example of what the minor label will look like. It'll obviously be, well, it'll be fancier. I didn't have an actual label to be able to print this on, but it has like the kind of a background with an Oregon logo of some sort on it, and be a little more official looking than this, but you can see that it has the installation date, it has the contractor's name, their CCB license number, and then it has a spot there for, oh, that's the expiration date at the top, I'm sorry. And then it has a spot there for the contractor on the job site to go ahead and put the date they did the installation and a short description of the work they did. Any questions on that part?
So Annie, do we, the individual contractors will be printing those labels once they're purchased? Will this all be done digitally, or do we receive them like we do now for the plumbing and electrical minor labels?
Good question. We will print them at the office and send them.
Okay. And so we still leave, I believe the process is, I don't personally do these, but you affix the minor label to the inside of the electrical panel door.
You could, or say if it's a furnace change out, maybe you put it on the furnace.
Right.
Or a heat pump, just somewhere that's easy to find.
Clearly obvious. Does this cover rooftop packaged units? If we're doing 5 tons and, are we doing 5 tons and below for a push-pull for a rooftop package unit for like a light commercial application?
That's what we have right now in our draft rules.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now I will attempt, oh, go ahead, any more questions? Well, I'm trying to.
Chair Hanson, if I could address Warren.
Please.
Warren, so we're going to get these in as a video inspection, and we're going to, obviously review them. Will these be automatically downloaded? And what I mean by that is the pictures and videos, will they go into our system as record of, or will it only just be that we seen the video and approved it?
Good question. Through the chair. So what will happen in this case is that we will send an email to local jurisdiction with a number. And then I think you can see on my screen right now, do you see the Acela logo? So this is the state Acela program. Some folks are familiar with it, some are not. But we would be downloading or uploading, whatever the proper term is, those photographs for every label used into this program. And now this is a program that local jurisdictions don't have to purchase or anything like that or download. It's all web-based. So in this case, you would log in, and I will show you right now. So I'm logging into the system, and you could search by the number that we sent you in that email, cut and paste it right into here, record number. I'm going to cancel because I haven't done that in this case, but in this case, this is the actual label lot for that demonstration I just showed you. So in 2020, CCB number 123490, purchased the lot. That lot number was 88. And then you would go to documents and just choose the one that we had had notified you to look at. I'm sorry. Hit download. Okay, and so you would see this document to review. So in this case, this is an inspection I did for a new heat pump that I had installed at my house not too long ago. So you can see that, I don't know if you can see my cursor on the screen, but, so it says assigned inspector, mechanical ML inspector, contractor, Warren Jackson. Of course, I'm not a contractor, but for the purposes of this practice demonstration, I have a login. So it automatically populated that. My phone number, which is the actual cell phone I used, I don't know if it knew that from the phone or whether that was associated with the record. My email address, the date I took the photographs, the worksite address. This isn't my real address. I changed this just for the purposes of the demonstration. The description of the work, so adding AC to central air handler warrants test. So the system created this document. So one of the photographs I took was from the installation instructions. And I am going to rotate this just for the purposes of this demonstration. So here you can see that the heat pump, that is way too big. So it has some clearance requirements. So in this case, it says that I need a surface clearance of 30 inches on one of the sides adjacent to the control box. Then a clearance on the other three sides, one of the others must be 36, two sides can be 12. So one at 36, two at 12, and then the final side can be 6. So that's kind of a starting point. It would be helpful for the inspector to know what the clearance requirements of the unit are. I know for a lot of things nowadays they're very similar. Let me try to rotate this one more time. And so, this little guy was at home when I was taking the picture, so I asked him for his license, which he did not display. But at any rate, he was guarding the house. Sorry about that. Now I'm in big trouble. Okay, so as part of it, I took a picture of the furnace. So here's the furnace. We've got the refrigeration lines coming in. We have a condensate pump because this is in our basement. One of these days I'll get to changing out the floor.
I'm just telling him to log out.
Here's a picture of the breaker. for the unit. Looks like my handwriting needs a little bit of help, but in any case, I have a 30 amp breaker. I've got a lockout on it. Got it labeled. Here's some refrigeration lines, kind of looking up at them, being supported. So here's a better view of it. So going through here, refrigeration lines and a condensate line going through the concrete wall. Here's the 30 amp circuit, 10 gauge wire heading out to the disconnect. And here's another 20 amp heading out to the receptacle in the disconnect. And here's the disconnect. And so in this photo, I'm showing that basically here's the unit. It's supported on a listed pad. Refrigeration lines are coming through the concrete. It's been sealed around there. We've got this one insulated. We've got the condensate termination right here. Disconnect. Sorry about the blurry here, but I was trying to get it the right angle. So here we have a disconnect. It's not fused. And this one has an integrated wet location or damp location receptacle in it that's GFCI protected so that I have a disconnect within 25 feet of the unit. Here's a picture of the label on the unit itself. So I didn't get this picture perfect, but it'll show you that the minimum amperage for the circuit's 20.9, maximum fuse or circuit breaker is 35. I had a 30, so we're good there. And again, it puts in the location and the coordinates. Here's the close side, so I measured that. It's not a very good angle on the tape. I think it's, but it's between 9 and 10 inches from the wall. Minimum was 6 inches, so we're okay. One picture that I forgot to take this particular day was the locking caps on the refrigerant ports, or tamper resistant, I'm sorry, not locking. Any questions on that so far?
Chair Hanson, if I may address Warren. So Warren, back to my original question was, so this is what comes in and this is what gets uploaded from BCD that we would take a look at.
Okay.
Does that automatically, I guess if we're on the Excel system, is that automatically put into our Excel system? Or if another jurisdiction was not on Excel, would they have to take this and upload it into their system to preserve the record of the inspection?
Through the chair. Good question. So in this case, everything's going to be saved in the state system, even your inspection results. So in this case, we took a look at this. So the next step in the process would be to enter the results of the inspection. So you would select the inspection, which I already did in this case, and passed it. But by the time we send you an email with an inspection, all the statuses for the 10 labels will have changed, so it becomes obvious which one you enter your result on. So in this case, you would simply, pick pass. If you didn't like, if it didn't meet code, you could select fail, and then hit update. And that record will actually be preserved in our system. Kind of like today when you do the minor label inspections. I'm not sure what records you keep on your end, but ultimately the results of that inspection gets entered into the state system. And we then, it might be a good question for maybe one of our legal folks on retention schedules and stuff like that. I'm not an expert on that, so. But I do know
I guess
are retaining a record in our system of that inspection and the photographs.
Okay. So I get that if you're not on Excella and you have your own software, then you would need to preserve that record if you wanted it for your own records. But if you were already on the Excella system, especially if you were on the e-permitting system, is there a way that it could integrate with the system that you wouldn't have to go through that extra step that actually included it? It would just become part of the record. The same as if we're out doing remote inspections and they integrate with Excella and it gets put in there.
I don't believe so. So in a sense, the Excella program is in one location, but each individual jurisdiction, when you log in, sees a portion of the system. So you're seeing a portion of the database. When you log in, you will have a different login to see this portion of the database. I'm not sure if that makes sense or if I said that clearly, but
yeah,
all in the same system.
I understand that.
I don't think you'll be able to see it through your typical county login. But when you log in as minor_labels, then you would be able to see it.
Okay. So I guess I would say maybe put that on the wish list for those jurisdictions that either have Excella as a standalone or they have Excella as part of the e-permitting system.
Now,
If it's basically all the data is kept in the same place, if we're going to do these inspections, if they could just automatically integrate into our Excella system so that we're not doing the redundant step of taking the inspection and then entering it back into our own Excella system.
Yeah, and I don't know that I see a reason to add it to your system. Again, each jurisdiction would have a login into the minor label program with certain rights. Are you using a different program for archiving documents than the Excella program?
No, it's just it's a matter of convenience instead of having to log into two different Excella portals, if you will. Like we're going to be doing remote inspections, and that's going to be going through an outfit that is going to integrate with Excella so that when we review the remote inspection electronically, it automatically gets put into our Excella system so that we don't have to go review it and take those results and then go put those results in Excella, that it's all seamless. It just seems to me that if we're using, states using Excella for the repository of the minor label stuff, if the jurisdiction had Excella out there, especially, that it should be a way that they communicate with each other. That it's in both systems, basically.
Yeah, that might be a conversation down the road. I just don't know enough about how the e-permitting system works and what's possible or not. And that might be a good question for e-permitting as you work on that process.
I'll tell them to talk to you.
Just to talk to me. You can talk to me. Unfortunately, I don't have very many answers, but thanks, Dad.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have any other questions for Warren? Or Warren, do you have anything else to add?
I think one of the big benefits to this particular minor label program is that today, with plumbing and electrical that local jurisdictions are used to doing minor label inspections for, oftentimes a jurisdiction is assigned one and then they need to contact the homeowner or the business to try to set up a time that they can come by and do that inspection physically. So there's time in the office to coordinate that inspection. Yeah. Then there's time in the field, driving out to the location, making the inspection, and then coming back, and then resolving the inspection. So I think this will really streamline the process for everybody. For the customer, this is certainly more convenient. For the local jurisdiction, I think it's a time saver. And I think for the contractor, it's going to be a bit easier as well. you know, a lot of times it's a big sacrifice or a big lift for homeowners to be available on the job site yet another day for an inspection.
Yeah. Anything else?
Chair Hansen, that's
I'd
all
just like
I
to say
have.
thank you to Warren for all the work he's put in on this.
Yeah, that's a good presentation, Warren. Second that.
Okay, thanks. And it's really a whole team of people here working on this project. I just happened to bring this forward. There's a lot of folks behind the scenes working. Thank you.
Okay. If nothing else, we are all the way up against adjournment. So this is your last chance for anybody to speak up and interject.
Chair Hansen, I do have one bit of information, and it's just an FYI that we have the open mechanical inspector position on the board. OBOA, the Oregon Building Officials Association, has put their support in behind Jeff Thompson. He's from Washington County. He's interested in the position, and we support his application. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that maybe we might have one of our vacant positions filled if he gets through the application process.
Okay, excellent. And that's all in motion? Mark, kind of looks like
Yeah.
Mark knows about this.
Through the chair, that's going through the
Yeah.
governor's office, so yeah, we'll see how that comes out. And we're just crossing fingers we can get the board filled up again. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I am going to call this meeting of the Oregon State Mechanical Board to adjournment at this time. Seeing no additional business at 10:08 on September 2nd, 2020, and we'll see you all on this December 2nd, 2020 for our next meeting. Appreciate you all for attending. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day, everybody.
Be safe. Take care. Thank you.